Good morning, students. Welcome to online classes of class 8th Geography. Myself is Archana Trivedi, and today we start with the remaining part of chapter 2, Population Dynamics. And in the first session of this chapter, Population Dynamics, we have covered up that what is population dynamics, means what, children, that why is it very important to study about the population, how is it so much powerful. And then after we have studied about the overpopulation, then the effects of overpopulation, then we have studied about the less population and the effects of less population, and then after we have also studied about emigration and immigration. Now let's start today, and today we are going to start with the factors affecting the population. Means, children, you must have listened that in certain places or certain regions of the world there is very highly populated area, and somewhere it is moderately populated area, and somewhere you must have listened that the area is sparsely populated, or some of the places where it is uninhabited, means no population is there. So why such kind of diversified distribution of population is there? What affects it? That we are going to study now. So first of all, the first factor which affects the distribution of population in the different regions of the world, that is climate. So here, that is the first factor, that is climate. And then after, second factor is topography or landforms, then soil, next is water, availability of resources, size of the country, social, economic factors, and last one is geographical location. So let's start with the climate. So as we all know that climate is very influential, means it is affecting the population a lot. In some of the part of the world, we have listened that there is very high population or density of population is more. So why it is so? Because we all like to have comfort, we all like to have a kind of temperature and rainfall which is soothing to us, which is giving a life to us, where the life can sustain. So in some parts of the world, wherever all such conditions are prevailing, that good rainfall is there, good temperature is there, and especially I can say it is temperate zone or such kind of areas where such kind of weather conditions are there. So in those areas, if we see the world map, we will see that the population is more, whereas in other parts of the world where there may be extreme type of climate, either it is very hot as the Sahara Desert of Africa, Thar Desert of India, or we see the cold deserts as the Antarctica or Antarctic Circle, which is above 66.5 degrees. So in such kind of areas or the regions of the world where the temperature is very excessive, there the population is less. So in this way we can say that climate affects the population of a region. Second is topography or landforms. So children, topography means the physical features of the land area, of that particular land area. So in some of the regions of the world, the hilly regions are there, somewhere plateaus are there, somewhere plains are there. So you know it very well that it's quite difficult to live in a hilly regions or the mountainous regions. The same goes with the deserts also, that it's very difficult to live in the desert sandy areas because less vegetation is there and climate is also very harsh. So in such kind of topography, wherever the mountainous region is there, hills are there the population is less, whereas in plains where all such climatic condition as well as the topography, plain areas are there, good weather conditions are there, their population is more. And the examples are in India, if you see the Himalayan region as well as the northeastern regions of India. These are the hilly regions. So here population is very less, and the same goes with the desert region of India. So in this way we can say that topography or the landform affects the population. The third factor which affects, that is soil. So children, you know that most part of the world is still is a agricultural land, means main occupation of the people of most population of the world is still agriculture, and for agriculture soil is required. And for soil, the area soil should not be simple one, means a kind of unfertile soil. The population is mostly found in the areas where there is very fertile soil or the alluvium is present over there. So if you see the river basins of India, means Gangetic plains of India, or you see the coastal plains of India where good fertile soil is present, or the next to the Rockies, the fertile soil which are present over there. So in such way we see that wherever the soil is present, good kind of agriculture can be done, good production is there, then we see that good amount of people are living over there and the population is growing over there day by day. Then the next factor, that is water. So water is essential for leading a life, for living, sustaining a life. So, you know that water is not only essential for domestic purpose, but it is also essential for industrial purpose as well as agriculture. So, if we see the world map and we go through the population map of the world, we will see that wherever water bodies are present, in any part of the world, wherever water bodies are present, there the population has grown a lot in ancient time also. If you see the civilization, they have developed from these river valleys. So we can say that wherever the river valleys are there, or good amount of water is present for all the different kind of purposes, as domestic purpose or agricultural purpose or for irrigation of agriculture and all that, so their population is found in a great amount. Then the next factor, that is availability of resources. So children, simply water or soil is not enough for leading a good life. For leading a good life, we have to progress also. So, wherever these resources are found, resources means the material, the metals and the power resources as petroleum. So, wherever such kind of resources are found, that places also we see that there is highly populated area, means there is good amount of population there, and such places in India are as Chota Nagpur plateau, because this whole belt is good in minerals. And if we go for the world map, then we can see that in the Arabian countries where desert is there, means climatic conditions are harsh, even then these countries are quite populated, because in these countries there is good amount of power resource, petroleum is present over there. So we can say that our next factor which affect the population is the availability of resources. Next point is size of the country. Size of the country is also considered as a factor of the population growth, because we have listened that some countries, although there is great number of people, means population is quite great and highly densely populated areas there are, even then they are not called as they are not called as the first populated country in the world or second populated country in the world. Why? Because according to the area, the population may be less, means these regions must be having greater areas, whereas some countries where population may be less but the area of the country, land area of the country is less, therefore we can say that the area is highly populated or densely populated. So in this way also we see that some countries are known as very densely populated, whereas some countries are known as less densely populated, although the population is greater than the previous one. Now next point is socio-economic factors. So when we study about the socio-economic factors of the population, first we come to the economic factors. So children, you know, for leading a good life, for growing a country, for developing a country, economic status and growth of economy is required a lot. So in which countries there is great prospects of doing trade with other countries and having such kind of position of the country that they can have good transportation with the other countries. So in such countries there is greater population because people are rushing to those areas and to those regions of the world to establish their industries and for better prospects of future. And when we come to the social factors of the population, then it is like this, that wherever the places or the regions in the world, wherever there is peace prevailing there, no war-like situations are there, better education facilities are there, better employment facilities are there, to those areas also people are rushing and flocking to those places and living over there. And in this way we can see that these kind of places are also highly populated. Next is geographical location. So this is the last point and last factor which is affecting the population of a place, geographical factors. So in all we can say that the place or the region wherever all kind of geographical factors are present, means climatic conditions are also good, as well as the better prospects of employment are there, better prospects of installing the industries are there, better prospects of growth is there, and also region from where good transportation can be done with the other part of the world, not only to that country but other part of the world. In those regions also the population growth is more, as in India we can see Bombay or Calcutta, because from these places people are migrating to other countries and they importing and exporting is easy from these places. So in this way we have come to the end of the factors affecting population of the world. Now the next part is composition of population. Composition of population means in a particular region what kind of population is present over there, means what composes and make a population of that particular area. So first of all, we see here the structure of population that includes the factors such as sex, health, literacy level, health conditions, occupation, income level. So most of the time children, you must have seen that some of the people are coming to home and they are asking about certain data. They are asking about that how many people are there in your family, to which gender do they belong, what is their income, what is their education, what occupation are they doing, how many four-wheelers or two-wheelers. So such kind of information they are gathering. Why? Because they are doing the census work. Means they are making the record of the people or the population living in a particular region or a particular country. So first of all, and this is known as composition of population of a country. So in composition of the population, we see the first point is sex. Sex means here that how many people are belonging to the different genders, means how many percent of female and what is the percent of male. Okay, and how many people out of them are educated, not educated, employed, not employed. So in this way, the sex ratio, we can say, that is determined of a particular region. Then comes health. So second thing, that the people or the population which is living in a particular zone, what kind of health do they have? Means, are they living a healthy life, or malnutrition is there, or in the age of elderly age people are dying, or at the age of youth they are dying, or the babies are dying. So in this way, the record is taken that what type of health conditions of is there of that particular region, and what kind of condition is there of the population. Then comes literacy level, means what type of literacy level is there, means how many people are educated, and what is the average of female education to the male education. The average is taken, the ratio is taken. So literacy rate is also being determined. And then after health conditions, so again the health conditions is like this, that malnutrition is there or the healthy life is there. So what type of population is there? Then after occupation, how many people are occupied? Are they engaged in some kind of employment? Are they engaged in some kind of work? Or what type of work are they doing? So in this way, the standard of life is find out, and in this way, the standard of the country is also find out. You must have listened certain terms as BPL and all that, below poverty line and all. So after doing such kind of researches and observations, these things are decided, that what is the level of education, what is the level of health, what is the level of occupation. Then last one is income level. So income level is also determined, and then after it is said that what kind of population is composed in that particular region or in that particular country. Next is important characteristics of population. So here we come to this part, important characteristic means what are the characteristics of a population of a place. So first one is age structure. Age structure we can understand by the population pyramid. So, and then after third one is their sex composition or sex ratio, and fourth one is rural urban composition. So first of all, we will study about the age structure. An interesting way of studying the age structure of population of a country is by looking at the population pyramid. So now we see the population pyramid, which is shown here at the left hand side. So children, population pyramid is a graphical representation that shows the distribution of various age groups and gender in a population. So children, remember, by this population pyramid we can understand two things. What are those two things? One is there that what age groups are present in a country or in a region. Second is what average of gender, means male and female are present in a country or in a region. So population pyramid is just like this. Here it is just like this, that the right hand side of the population pyramid is showing the female number of population present in a country, whereas the left side of these graphs are showing the male population present in a country. And this side the age groups are written, and this side the percent of the male and females are written. So in this way we understand that how many female or what is the ratio of the female to the male present in a country. Okay, and the population pyramid is divided into three parts. The lower part is known as the youthful age. Second part is, that is the biggest part, that is known as the working population or working age, and the last part, the upper part, is known as the elderly people, means the retired one. So by seeing the pyramid, we can understand that what is the mortality rate or the death rate of a country, because if the pyramid is going equal and not curve is not made very deep, it means that the mortality rate is less and youthful. And here you see this pyramid belongs to India. So you can see here that the middle part, the working age or the youthful age is greater, means death are not taking too much place because it is not too much curved. In this way we can say that many working people are there in India, and that is good sign for a country. And elderly people means the people are dying at the age after 69 or 70. Okay, so in this way the population pyramid is helping a lot to understand about the population of a country, and especially referring to the gender and age group of that country. Next is sex composition or sex ratio. Here already I have explained that how many female persons in respect to the male person in a country, means up from 1,000 people, how many female persons are there. So that is the sex composition or sex ratio. Next one is rural urban composition. Rural urban composition means that how many people are living in the rural areas and how many people are living in the urban areas. We know, children, that is still near about 70% of the world population living in the rural areas, because their main occupation is agriculture. So in this way we can say that rural population and urban population, where people are especially going for the industrial works or for certain jobs or higher education. So what is the composition of this particular field that is also composing the population of a country? So in this way we have come to the end of this chapter 2, population dynamics. Hope you have understood well. Study well, learn the chapter, and please stay safe. Thank you.